You know how it is. Some arguments, they just vanish like smoke. But others, they burn everything down. And we think it's about who's right or who's wrong. But there's an unseen force at play in every single disagreement, a hidden variable that decides the outcome before a single word is ever settled.
Have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why one conversation can find peace, while another one that's almost identical, just detonates? Well, the clues? They're not where you'd expect to find them. The answer isn't in the facts of the case.
That's because the truth is personal. See, it was never about the disagreement. It's about you.
And that's our first real clue, your energy. That is the unseen force. It's the ghost in the machine of every argument. You're either the one fanning the flames, or you're the one who can lift the whole thing up. So the real question is, which one are you?
All right, so to solve this case, we have to turn the investigation inward. We're going to conduct an energy audit.
And the prime suspect?
Well, that's the person staring back at you from the mirror.
This is the one question that changes everything. You have to ask yourself, is my energy making this worse? You know, asking that question, that's the ultimate mark of maturity. It's that moment the detective realizes the clues have been in his own hands the entire time. When you're faced with a conflict, your energy really only goes one of three ways.
First up, there's what's called the decline. Now, this is the easy path. You dip into defensiveness, you start to play the victim, your upset just drags the entire situation down into the mud with you. It's a common move, sure, but it's a destructive one.
Second, you could be a steady Eddie. You just remain calm, unmoved by the storm around you. Now, this energy doesn't exactly harm the situation, but it doesn't help it either. It's just a stalemate. Nothing gets solved.
And then there's the third way, the Ascendant Arc. This is where you are so conscious of your own state, of your own being, that you're not just enduring the conflict. No, you actually lift the entire situation up. And this is the key to solving the whole case.
You know, most cases go cold because of two repeat offenders, two tactics that derail any chance at things getting resolved. We call them the Two Great Escalators.
Their MO is like a counterfeit coin. On one side, you've got making the other person wrong. You know, calling them names, like selfish. Flip it over, and on the other side, you've got making threats, saying you'll just leave. They feel different in the moment, but they're just two sides of the exact same destructive currency.
And here's the trap. In the heat of the moment, these tactics, they feel righteous. They feel completely justified. But they always, and I mean always, guarantee the conflict gets worse. They wreck any chance you had of making progress.
So if these are the traps that lead straight to ruin, how do you break the cycle? How do you escape the pattern?
Okay, this is where the case breaks wide open. It's not about finding a better tactic. It's about a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about moving away from the crime scene entirely and looking toward a shared future.
The first step is simple, but it's profound. You stop fighting each other.
And you start fighting the problem. Together. I'm telling you, this changes everything. The conflict is no longer me versus you, it becomes us versus the issue.
This is what real progress looks like. It's not victory, it's not surrender, it's betterment. It's the realization that you are two people on the same side, facing a shared obstacle that you have to find a way through together.
So what does this actually look like in practice? We need to get a confession. We need the code that unlocks this whole collaborative state. The kind of language that changes the energy in the room.
The code really has two parts. First, you have to stop all the accusations, all the blame. Just stop. Second, you start using positive framing. You shift from trying to get compliance to inviting collaboration.
These phrases, these are the keys. Things like, let's figure this out together, or I want to make this better for both of us. Even just, where should we start? They seem like simple words, but they are powerful enough to disarm a standoff and turn adversaries into partners.
Think of it this way. Every conflict is a fire. It starts small, maybe just a smoldering ember of a misunderstanding.
Now, you can't always control how a fire starts, but your energy, that is your response. That part is entirely within your power. So the only question that really matters is this. What will you pour on the flames? Will your energy be the water that cools them, or will it be the petrol that turns a tiny spark into an inferno?
And this is the final clue. This is the one that solves the whole mystery. You have total agency over the outcome. You are not a victim of the conflict. You are its architect.
By choosing the energy you bring to the table, you choose the result. Holding that space for betterment, that's the final act. The case? Well, it's now yours to solve. So what's your verdict going to be?